Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one is, again, it's in the early access period, though I think this is going to be released after the whole early access thing. Anyway, but I'm up against Turin, and it's going to be a very fun battle. So as you can see, I've got two Black Ark Corsairs with handbows, I've got some Dread Spears on the sides, a couple of Hargoneth Executioners, the Hellebranai, the Dread Spears with poison attacks, which is very cool, really like these guys. Also got some Witch Elves to pin things down, got a couple of Dark Shards to get through any armoured targets, some more spears on the flanks just to make sure, you know, stuff can't sneak by me, and I've also got two incredibly fast cavalry with the Doomfire Warlocks. So these guys, if you don't remember, Doomfire Warlocks, they get free casts of Lesser Doombolt and Soulblight, and the Regiment Renown version get Soul Stealer and Word of Pain, which is just awesome. I love these two in tandem. You get so many spells out of them, and yeah, poison magic attacks as well, which is really cool. So also, my Lord here, it's a Supreme Sorceress, because you can actually bring a Sorceress as a Lord now, so that's really cool. So she's the Fire Sorceress. I got her on a Dark Pegasus, because generally, Norsca don't have a lot that can chase down, you know, flying things, so it's pretty good. She should be able to outrun the dragon and stuff like that, so it should be pretty great. So if we have a look at her quickly, you can see she's got Ardzipal's Black Horror, which is a really cool breath attack item. You can only use it once, but still. Also, Flaming Sword of Ruin, because I'm up against Norsca, and they're weak to fire, so that's great. Burning Head will help kill a lot of the chaff, because, you know, unarmoured things like Berserkers, you really want to kill them quickly, and a Burning Head will do a lot of damage to those guys. And also screw up their leadership, which is nice. And Cascading Fire Cloak, I can use on my own guys to keep them going in melee a lot longer, which is pretty cool. So yeah, plus 27 melee defense, it's not to be sniffed at. So, I think that about sums up my army. So, as you can see, Turin went, he did not go wide with this one at all. He wanted to bring a lot of big toys, and he did. So you can see he's got the Frostworm, which is incredibly cool looking. Big two-headed Chaos Dragon, all icy. I love that two heads are very different as well. They look really cool. You can see where they got sort of ripped apart when it used to be one head. It's very scary. Ugh. Anyway, also, he's got a Mammoth. That's right, it's a War Mammoth. So these ones, they're the more armoured variety, so they've got 70 armour. I think the normal ones have 30. So these guys are a lot stockier than the Feral versions, and they don't rampage like the Feral versions. So these guys are really cool. Also, they've got missile attacks. These guys will be like throwing javelins or something. Yeah, throwing javelins. So that's kind of nice as well. So kind of like how the Stegodon also has the missile attacks, you know, despite the fact that's not really what it's built for, you know. It's kind of cool. So also he's got some Chaos Marauder champions with great weapons. These guys should do alright against things like Hargoneth Executioners with a bit of support. And here's a bit of support. Here's Vermeer Warriors with great weapons. These guys are fantastic anti-large because he's got mostly anti-infantry. You know, in his line here, so that's going to be really useful. Also, he's led by Throgg. Gotta love Throgg, you know how much I love him. And he's also got a Vermeer Bale Fiend of Shadows. So again, Shadow Magic, fantastic, but you have to bring it on the expensive Vermeer Bale Fiend. To be fair, he's pretty great, you know, he can get stuck into melee, he can't get sniped out too easily. You know, like regular casters, you know, you dive on a regular caster with a Lord or something, they're going to die very quickly. These guys won't, but you've got to pay for that. So Shadows, it's expensive to bring now. He's about 1,500 or something, so it's pretty pricey. He's also got some Marauders on the edges, and right on the far sides, he's got Norscan Warhounds, and he's also got Norscan Ice Wolves. So pretty scary stuff. So I'm moving up with the handbows, knowing that I can outrun most of this stuff. I just want to get some early damage in. At first I thought it was Berserkers would be in here, which is why I brought the handbows. I wanted to approach, get a load of damage into Berserkers that are low armor, and then retreat. Now this was a pretty good move. The Frostworm, he's going to be chilling these guys. So these guys are going to get slowed down a lot, so their speed is down to 12 when he attacks them, which is just crazy. Luckily though, it's pretty good bait for my Dark Shard, so we can't really afford to stay into this, you know, in this fight. So that's good. So I got some good damage on the Frostworm already. He's done some damage to my handbows, but yeah, I haven't really lost many models, so it's not too bad. So over here, I actually chased off the Norscan Ice Wolves with my Doomfire Harvesters. Sorry, Doomfire Warlocks and Slashes Harvesters. I'll just combine the two. My Doomfire Harvesters is what I'm calling the two units. Anyway, so over here, you know, still trying to get some good damage in. Obviously, you can see I've got the Dark Shards firing into the War Mammoth. That is going to do a ton of work, so that's really good. I've got the Witch Elves running in to try and pin him in place. There we go, he's rampaged, and now he's going to be incredibly vulnerable. So Black Ark Corsairs are coming in. Luckily, these only Norscan Warhounds, you know, they're not the Ice Wolves that are actually very competent melee. So these guys really need to come back at some point. Oh my god, we just missed it. So there we go. There's the Black Horror, which is pretty awesome. So did, I mean, it kind of whiffed by the looks of it. Oh, I mean, it did wipe out those marauders, but, and, oh, actually, it did a load of damage to those champions, so not bad, actually. That did okay for me, I guess. So over here, you see, he's going to try and use a penultimate pendulum, and he does use it. That was pretty good. I tried to move out of the way, couldn't quite do that in time. Unfortunately, the Frostworm has actually caught my Supreme Sorceress. I was too busy trying to make sure those spells would go off that she got a bit caught out, which is very stupid. And Enfeebling Foe, it's going to make it very difficult to get away. You see, she's only got 68 speed compared to his, was that 90? Yeah, so now he's quicker. So the fact that I let him catch me means that he's now quicker than me, which is just pretty terrifying with the Frostworm, to be honest. So using Arcane Conduit, Melkos has been used on her to slow her down as well. So I'm getting stuff, you know, firing into the Frostworm. I've got these guys nearby to try and hit buffs and debuffs on various units. So you can see he's got Word of Pain just so he can't hit as well, which definitely helps. And now I'm slowly baiting him back towards my ranged units. So over here I've got Spearmen holding off these Marauders. These Witch Elves have come back from chasing something. Not quite sure what, probably the Mammoth. Anyway, so the Mammoth is dealt with. For the most part, he's still got some health, but it won't take long to chase him off again. So these Hunt Bows are going to start shooting at the War Mammoth. That's definitely going to help. You know, they don't have a huge amount of armor piercing, but honestly, it's such a big target, they can hit every shot. And yeah, they do actually do a fair bit of armor piercing. It's definitely going to add up, you know, with just the amount of fire being, you know, shot into him that he's just not avoiding. So here I used Doom Bolt on the Bale Fiend to try and help finish him off, and he didn't seem to like that. So Doomfire Warlocks now just charging through what's left. My Sorceress, super injured, so luckily she did get away. I'm quite surprised. But yeah, Turin had to basically just jump down here and deal with the Dark Shards with the Dragon, because otherwise they would have just kept shooting him. So he might have got my Lord, but he would have lost his Dragon, which, you know, might have actually been alright for him, but because he was losing the sort of land battle anyway, he really needed to keep as much value as he had. So Dragon's coming in, is now rampaged, so it's pretty tough for him. So Snatcher's Harvesters and everything charging in. I was got him completely surrounded. So he breaks. Throgg, beautiful just vomit attack into our guys there. So going to start chasing him down. Mammoth once again came back. I think it's routed twice now, so this should be the last one. So I got my Poison Spearman in there, and one hit, and that was it for him. Throgg now completely surrounded. And amazing, this Frostworm, he's not out yet. Here's some Famir come back, so they're going to really disrupt my Dark Shards. But I got Hargan Executioners in there, which actually don't do great against Bale Fiends, or Famir Warriors. The armor piercing will just get through the Hargan Executioners really easily, but I can start shooting at him as well, and I have Witch Elves, and I've just got so many tools left. Yeah, Turin's kind of running out of steam here with this army. Throgg, he's not going to be able to survive down here. I've used a Word of Pain on him, because I've got another one. So, yeah, and a Soul Blight, and that's kind of it. So, yeah, Norsca, and Dark Elves. So Dark Elves, I think they've got some cool new tools. The Poison is really useful from the Hellebronite to sort of slow things down and having something, you know, a bit more reliable than the usual Dread Spears that's anti-large in the front, but isn't quite as expensive as the Harganeth, sorry, not the Harganeth, it's just the Blackguard. I think it helps. I think they're really good. You see, they actually got a fair few kills there too. Harganeth Executioners, just very sturdy, but you know, Familiar Warriors and things like that, they can get so much damage into these guys. But when you've got things like Slaanesh Harvesters and the Doomfire Warlocks running around, you can chase off wolves and things really easily with them. You know, they're just so quick. I mean, it's 105 speed, I think these guys have got. So they can chase down anything like that and just come back to the fight later. So, you know, you can just pick a target and go, I want to kill that thing. You know, you just go, right, that won't be able to get support in time. It's dead now. Which is pretty cool. I really like them. But I tend to use them fairly defensively, you know, throw them in to plug up gaps. If my line is holding, the odd rear charge if I can. Block cavalry charges with the Slash's Harvesters, because then you can drop a Soul Stealer to get the health back before they start losing models. It's just really a lot of utility out of these guys. Handbows, I think, great against Norsca, that generally don't have a lot of armor. But you know, these guys have a surprising amount of armor piercing in case they do bring a load of units that do. You know, you can get a lot of use out of these guys. And they're fairly formidable in melee, so if you're trying to chase them down with wolves and things, they can fend them off. So I really like that. Witch Elves, I think, are a must, because otherwise he would have got all his big stuff into my Dark Shards, and I would have had nothing to shoot his armored units. So, yeah, so I think Witch Elves are vital. And Supreme Sorceress, don't let her get caught, guys. Don't let her get caught. But she's pretty great. I really like that spell of hers. And she's just pretty cool. It's really nice to have a sort of a spellcaster option that isn't, you know, Malekith, right? Or, well, Morathi, I suppose. Having these options, I think, is really good. It should add to the diversity a lot, because she's a lot cheaper than something like Malekith or Morathi. She doesn't have quite as many random skills and things that are going to sort of help out, but just a good spellcaster, and you know, that really cool bound spell. So I like her a lot. So for Turin's army, Throgg, just absolute trooper, love him. If I did bring someone like I don't know, anything really in the Dark Elf roster, chances are you're going to have him mounted on, you know, on a dragon or even a cold one or something. So Throgg is going to be an absolute powerhouse there with his anti-large, and he does regenerate as well. Obviously there is the weakness to fire, and Dark Elves can bring the Law of Fire, so, you know, that's tough. Same with the Bale Fiend, you know, just so expensive. All of this was very expensive, but we did get to show off a lot of new tricks, so, you know, gotta love the risky pick here. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and be sure to go check out Turin's channel if you somehow haven't already. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.